the stories so real, lifting spirits high. In the rhythm of healing, let our words fly. Mind and body reunited, let's take a step. Cannabis dreams and the light of the sun. We're turning the tide, we're all becoming one. With every new story, our hearts start to mend. In this podcast of life, there's hope round the bend.
Hello, world. All right, we are back. It is I, Ryan, aka Crownson's Corner. We're changing that up. We're changing everything soon to the Healing Chefs podcast. But this is the Healing Chefs podcast. Healing Chefs podcast is all about natural remedies, so we don't get marked on Instagram or YouTube, but natural remedies and mental health, and really just talking about the hard things that people don't discuss as much, so people don't feel so alone. But with that, chef comes from the word leader or chief. My bad. Ryan talking take two. All right. So, chef comes from the word chief, chief meaning leader. Everyone that I have on here, I believe, is a leader in their own right. Today, we have High Demand out of Oklahoma. Now, I didn't get what's your name, brother? Dakota, as it's sitting on the screen as I'm reading it. But yeah, here's Dakota. And if you could just thank you very much for coming. If you could just introduce people of exactly what you do, and then we'll go ahead and get into like the journey of things.
All right. What's up, guys? My name is Dakota. I am the co-owner of High Demand. It is a family business. Me, my sister, my father, and my mother. I actually run the cultivation side of things, and my sister runs the sales department. So I'm the main grower, I'm the harvest, I'm the janitor, I'm freaking everything in between, you know. So
that's chefing in itself, brother.
Yeah, 100%. I'm a one-man band for the most part.
Yeah, absolutely. So awesome. That's really dope, because we'll get into more of this. I don't know too much about the Oklahoma scene or anything like that, but it's nice to tap in and always learn more. So I appreciate that. So we'll go ahead and jump into the first segment. All right. And sorry, the next guest is like already messaging me. So cannabis journey is all about how you found cannabis yourself, and then like where you're at with it, and we'll kind of talk more about the Oklahoma scene. But how did you find cannabis yourself?
So this goes back to when I was about 15 years old. I grew up in Texas, and I got introduced to marijuana at an early age, just like a lot of us that are in the industry did. And it quickly became a passion for me. I didn't ever think that it would turn into anything more than just, selling a couple grams here and there and smoking a joint or two. But when I was in my mid-20s, I convinced my dad to become my partner, and he's somebody that was against it my whole life. And now we're business partners, and we do this together. So we're going into year 4 of business right now here in Oklahoma. Very saturated market, very hard to keep chugging along, but we're still here, and we're going to try to be one of the last men standing. So that's kind of the plan. But yeah, it started back when I was 15, man.
That's crazy. Yeah. I can definitely understand the oversaturation, because here in Arizona, it is completely oversaturated. I don't know how it worked there, but really what's going on out here is that all the people that have the licenses and the warehouses and whatnot will lease out the license and the space to people. And it doesn't matter if whoever's growing or creating whatever product sells or not. Those people that are renting out the licenses and the warehouses are going to get their money regardless. So, but then like so many people got the opportunity, and they just started flooding it with like flour and stuff. And now we see a lot of, I don't know if you guys do, we see a lot of byproduct companies come along. that are like taking the trim and turning it into carts and stuff like that. Is that
Mhm.
something similar to what's going on there, or?
Yeah, there's not as much of that. That's not where most of the saturation comes from,
Hmm.
because those are processing companies, and those licenses were actually very. I wouldn't say they were limited. The state didn't put a limit on them or anything like that, but there just wasn't as many licensed processors as there was growers from the beginning.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
when we got into this, there was like 10,000 licenses for growers
Oh,
in this state.
yeah, that's completely different than
Yeah,
Arizona.
we're down to like, man, I don't know. I want to say somewhere around like 2,900 to 3,500, somewhere in there. Like they've
Wow.
weeded it out quite a bit. A lot of that from the beginning was all illegal. It was all these operations that were illegal. And, you got
No,
10,000 licenses. You don't have enough state employees to inspect everybody.
no,
So
hell no.
that went along for a couple years, to be honest with you.
I bet.
If I'm not mistaken, it's been like 2018 since it was legalized here. So it's 2025 now, and they're just now starting to get a handle on things.
Wow. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. That's insane to have that many licenses and that many
Mhm.
grows immediately.
We
Yeah,
still have,
how did you like how I just want to talk to the people who did that. Like, how do you think you're gonna check 10,000 on a with a government employee staff? Like, I
yeah.
don't know.
Well, man, the license fee was very minimal, very, very minimal.
Oh,
And
even
so
worse.
anyone who could buy a license plus a couple grow lights got
Damn.
started. So
Shit. No shit that's got oversaturated fast.
yeah, yeah.
For sure. All right. So I've seen a lot of your cannabis and grow and looking through all the videos and whatnot, and you got some really, I mean, some amazing looking flower. That's, I think, number one, that's why you're still around. Uh
Appreciate it.
and like what like you have some crazy, like I was just talking to the girlfriend about like your panda cookies. As soon as I saw panda, I'm like panda, 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 panda.
Yeah, exactly. I think the same thing.
Yeah, and then you had something that was like blueberry something with cheetah piss. I mean, that shit's wild. Where are you getting your genetics? Are you doing like pheno hunting, any breeding, or are you
So
are
it's a mixture.
okay?
I do pheno hunts. And in fact, I'm actually supposed to pop like 75 seeds today,
Oh,
because my genetic bank is getting down. I got like 40 something strains left. At the start of last year, I had 100 and something.
damn.
So I weed through those all year long. Try to go through about 100 or something strains a year.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I have bought some cuts, not too many,
Yeah.
but a lot of the ones that I have now are ones that I've either pheno hunted or I got from a past employee of mine who actually moved out here from Cali and was growing for me and
Uh-huh.
helping me out and stuff and being another hand. He brought some cuts with him, and so
Nice.
I've just been able to source a couple cuts from, he gave me some, and then my pheno hunts, and we're rocking and rolling now, and everything that we're growing is fire. So
Hell
I
yeah.
run like 36 plants in a pheno hunt every run. So it's not too
Yeah.
fast of a process, but it helps me decide what I'm going to do the next run, the next run, and the next run.
Right. So I myself am going to start growing here. I believe when I can order, I'm ordering like some AC Infinity stuff, just so it's a little more. Uh, I don't know how easier on me with like the apps and all this stuff, trying to keep track of that kind of stuff. Um, what so anyone that's listening, including myself, what would you say is the best first lesson in growing, other than being patient and knowing that you're gonna fuck up?
Oh, man, the best first lesson.
I know
Let me
that kind of put you on the spot there.
Man, that's kind of hard, dude. I learned so much. Whenever we first started, before my dad and I even became partners,
Yeah.
he went out and bought me a tent, bought me a light, and brought it to my house and was like, "Here, I want you to practice to see if this
What?
is even something we should get into. See if you can make it to the finish line."
Right.
And man, that I would say that the very first lesson that I learned early on would be test your soil in the lab before you use it. Test your medium, find out that you're not using stuff that's got contaminated with heavy metals and things like that. Because a lot of these companies out here putting out all these soils, and they're great, whatever. But I've gone down to an inert media now. I use grow dam blocks. But
Okay.
when I first started, we were in soil, and my very first test came back contaminated with heavy metals. And it's because I didn't do my due diligence and test that soil. I didn't know, I
Right.
was learning. So, and
Yeah,
now
you don't know what you don't know.
yeah, I look back now and I'm like, man, that was a big first lessons for me to learn. So I would say if you're going to get started, test everything in a lab before you even start. Make sure you're going to have some clean product coming out.
Absolutely. That's I appreciate it. That's exactly what I was looking for.
Yeah.
Because I know I'm getting scared, and also what I'm gonna do is I was thinking, man, I'm gonna get this 6-plant light thing, and we're gonna go running it, and I'm like, okay, pump the brakes. I'm like, what we're gonna do first is get a 2-plant grow tent, and we're gonna rock 2 plants and see how well we got that, because we got the podcast going. I'm a part-time bud tender. I have a girlfriend now and a whole life, so like I'm not trying to overdo it.
Yeah.
And I know growing and stuff is like taking care of a baby. I'm not trying to cause any more trauma than my failures are already gonna come along with. But awesome, I appreciate that. And we'll tap in more and more in the future as we go on with the podcast, and we'll talk more about cannabis. But last thing I want to go over with you, like, do you guys process into rosin or any concentrates, or you just flower?
No, man, I'm just flower. At one point, I did hold a processing license. I had 5 licenses at one time. A dispensary, 2 grows, a processing license, things like that. And after a couple years in the industry, I decided it would be easiest just to maintain this one facility that I'm running. So
makes sense.
It back down, and we just do flower, man. I have some processed stuff out on the market, but it's through buddies of mine who own a license that potentially make some pre-rolls or some concentrates or something. But it's my flower. I just didn't do it myself.
Fair enough. So like split tolling and stuff like that. Yeah, dope. Yeah,
I don't do a lot of that. Most of it's flower.
For sure. No, yeah, and it's an amazing looking flower. Absolutely amazing. But I appreciate. All right, Tribby. All right, so Trip Tales is all about like psychedelics, experiences, news. I trip at least once a week for the most part, and I mean I've had some real revelations lately. Like I don't even know. I feel like I've even somehow. I'm gonna sound crazy for a second, but I feel like I've shifted realities a little bit. I don't know. I was just kind of lost, and the ketamine and stuff has kind of turned my life around to where I'm actually me again. I've actually found myself. I'm back to even talking to my family, all sorts of stuff. So it's absolutely insane for me to even speak about it right now. But do you have any experience, like even just like having fun tripping? Because I did that shit too. We went to Amsterdam, ate a bunch of shrooms back in the day.
Yeah.
Do you have any experiences with psychedelics yourself?
Yeah, so the most that I've ventured into that is shrooms.
Right.
I'm a big fan of shrooms, actually, and I haven't done them in a while. Now that we're talking about it, and I sit and think about it, but I agree with you on the change of reality.
In your head to do.
Yeah. I gotta see what we can figure out for tonight.
Already.
No, it's definitely a change in reality, man. I agree with that 100%. And I've been trying to talk to my mom and dad about that kind of stuff. I feel like it grounds you. It brings you back down to earth and makes you look at things a completely different way. I have a couple experiences with some pretty good trips. Never anything too crazy though. I've always been a little nervous to go over that 3.5 gram mark or even get close to it.
I don't think I've ever gone over like an eighth, other than like maybe one time I had like 5 paper tabs of acid, and then I ate an eighth of shrooms because I was already tripping on the acid. So I don't really know if the shrooms did much else, but like I was gone. Like the things on my phone, all the little icons were floating above it and stuff. And I'm
Yeah.
like, whoa. So that one was crazy. But yeah, going over 3.5, that's well, and I've been talking to like my girlfriend here. She like I told her like everyone grows like nowadays. They all grow like the penis envy and the gorilla, the ape shit, and like like can we like have like medium? Can I have mid shrooms? Can I have mids? Like can I
Yeah.
just have a mellow high? Fuck, why do I gotta be screaming in the fucking wind taking 1 gram? I'm like, what? How much did I take? Holy
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah. Way too much sometimes on accident.
Yeah, dude, I feel like you just jumped out of a fucking plane and you're just like
No
shaking.
slowing down now, baby. Hold on for the
No,
ride.
no, you're gonna slap the ground, but and then it'll be over, and then you'll be like, "Oh my god, thank God that's not my life."
Yeah.
But
Man,
yeah,
my very first time doing shrooms. I was standing there outside with my buddy, and there was a street light. And as the shrooms were kicking in, I saw the street light beam just like go between us. I'm sitting here looking at him. The street light's over there. I'm like, no shit, dude. I turn and I look, and I can follow this beam of light, and I'm like, this is wild, man. So that was the
that's
beginning of my experiences with it.
that's dope because that's another thing I've been talking about is fixation when you're tripping. So you could be like standing there talking to somebody, like even a girlfriend did this recently. We're sitting there talking, and like all of a sudden there's something over here you want to look at, and you're just like, yep. But you
Yeah,
still looking, you still got to pay attention to whatever the hell else is going on. And sometimes, yeah, you just got to let that go and like stare at that beam of light, dog. Like
yeah, yeah.
sometimes, and
It
then
was
eventually you will be like, okay, yeah,
it was a good trip, man. It wasn't too much. That was about the craziest
yeah,
uh, little thing that I got that night.
yeah. On shrooms, I've never had anything too crazy. It was the crazier things that happen with shrooms for me is like the thought processes and stuff.
Yeah.
Um, that's been pretty crazy, but other than that, they've been fairly mellow. It's just sometimes it's like my stomach hurts so bad I'm just not even having a good time with shrooms. But awesome, and I appreciate that. And like like now more and more nowadays, I really feel like okay, cannabis is legal in Arizona, Oklahoma, all these kind of things. They just released a thing for a study for like the VA to be dropped like 1.5 million for veterans psilocybin for the PTSD. Um,
Wow.
so yeah, so that's great. I think we're going to be moving towards. I believe at least in Arizona by 2030, psychedelics will at least shrooms will be some sort of medical or something like that.
Oh yeah.
So I'm really looking forward to that. But awesome. You have anything else you want to say about psychedelics or
No,
anything?
not really. Just be careful with your dosage.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Same with eating edibles. Like okay,
Oh my
you
gosh.
can like high dose edibles. You're riding the same rails as psychedelics. So you can always eat more. You can eat less. So be careful.
Yeah.
um, and if you're gonna take like a larger dose or something like that, or you're just gonna trip at all, if you have someone, I always suggest having a trip sitter.
A trip sitter.
Yeah, someone who's been through the shit and everything that kind of sits there and guides you. Maybe doesn't do the stuff with you, or has done it enough to that they can help guide you. And if you ever get to the scaries, and
Yeah.
get you out of that kind of shit, that's
That's a
always
good idea. That's a good idea, man. I've always just fucking jumped on the train and ran
me too.
down.
I have one speed dog. It's go.
Yeah.
So yeah, trip sitters, look into it. It's a really good thing. It really is. Uh,
Cool.
yeah, but we'll go ahead and jump into. All right, and we're back. And so, mental health is wealth is all about obviously mental health. even how we use cannabis, psychedelics, all those different things to help us out. But what I do ask anybody, all the guests that on if they have any like coping mechanisms that you use on a daily basis that may uh, help the youth, like people listening and watching and stuff like that. I myself use math a lot. I'll start doing math in regards to something in my life because I can control numbers. I can't control people. Also, cleaning. I do that too. Cleaning.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I get mad, I start cleaning.
Really?
Yeah. I'm like, because, okay, I can control this. When I do this, this happens. And then I get that. So, like, when you do, like, checklists and stuff, it's a dopamine high by, by actually checking off each thing that you've done. Like,
Uh-huh.
your brain gets high. And that's why when you're done with the list, you feel really good. It's because you're dropping dopamine into your shit. So that's I know. So when I'm upset, that I can, if I start putting things in place, not only does everything look better and it is calming, but also I know that it's just like put away and I controlled that. And so I'm like, okay, I got that done now. Let's address the other shit now that we're calm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm always trying to stay ahead of myself, trying not to piss myself off.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel that's the easiest thing to do sometimes.
Oh yeah, yeah. Because don't we hate ourselves so much? We should all be nicer to ourselves for sure.
Agreed. Agreed. I like to take a little smoke break about 48 times a day.
That too, bro. That too. Type shit. Fucking. Yeah. I guess so, huh? But
Yeah.
I feel like more and more nowadays that it's easier to talk to our people, friends and family and stuff like that about things we're going through. Um, and I'm also going to start, I mean, to each their own. I'm going to start, end up going to church and stuff like that, not just for the church part of it, but there's support groups within there.
Hmm.
And just the more you talk about things and with people and get that shit out, it's just better. Um,
100%, man. We go to church all the time. We don't today though because I had things to do, but we do for the most part.
Yeah, I see. I see. You have a mental health day going on. You got a big game going on later.
Yeah.
The Vikings and the Lions.
Yes,
That
sir.
that's going to be a really good game. I'm gonna be watching that for sure. Probably have a bet or 2 or 10 on the game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Already got a couple bets in. Got to use up your bonus bets before they go away, folks.
Make sure you get that bonus money.
Yeah. So, do you have anything else you'd like to share about mental health or like being a grower and everything? Um, do you like how do you set up your day to where you're not stressing yourself out? Because that's something that I do. I try to make sure I like have at least a vague plan of what I'm doing because I know you've broke down from going to all those licenses now to just the one license and stuff. So I'm sure that was like almost damaging to your mental health trying to octopus all that kind of shit. Um,
It is and it isn't, man. I've always been very well about like compartmentalizing things in my brain. You know what I'm
mm,
saying? And
yeah,
a lot of honest, like no bullshit. What really helps me keep this in line and keep going is music and cannabis. My love for this is like completely out the roof, man. I'm very passionate about what I do. Very passionate about these plants. I'm touching every single one of them every single day. You know, I pretty
yeah.
much live out here in the grow, and so I just keep my headphones on and keep listening to new tunes and keep rocking away, man. But one thing that helps me a ton is I make alarms on my phone at certain times all day long, and that helps me prioritize things. So every night before I go to bed, I make alarms on what I need to do every single day. Because if not, I'll forget, man. I got too much shit to do,
Yeah.
and
Oh
so
my God.
when those alarms go off, if I ain't got time to get to it now, I'll snooze it. But if not, I usually stop what I'm doing and go knock that out, no matter what I'm doing. You know, so that really helps me as far as staying down a straight path and not getting overwhelmed and everything like that. Having my phone tell me what to do every time I need to do it.
Hell yeah, I like that.
I just had to add some features while we were talking about that because I alarmed them off, and it was one of my tasks. I had to add some feeds real quick. So
hell yeah, I'm gonna steal that from you. I'm gonna use that because sometimes I'd be like stoned and in a daze and fucking shit up and forgetting shit.
yeah, for sure.
So hell yeah, I like that. I appreciate that very much. So with that, we'll go ahead and jump into the last segment, which is plug talk, all about promo and whatnot. All right, hell yeah. So plug talk's all about promo and you. This is your chance to let everyone know how to get a hold of you, where to check you out, all that kind of stuff. Anything you have coming up that you want to do, say or whatever, and then shout out whoever you want to shout out. But,
gotcha. So
it's your time now.
You can reach me at Hydemand LLC. That is on Instagram or Threads. Not very active on Threads, just kind of playing around on there right now. But don't have a Twitter or X account or anything like that. Mainly just Instagram, man. I like to post videos of what I do daily and show the progress and everything like that. As far as what I have coming up goes, I'm actually in the process of switching lights here pretty soon. So I just started documenting today. I just posted a video today about a new light that I'm testing out, the Matrix light.
Okay.
I run 5 foot wide tables, which is not unheard of, but a lot of people run 4 foot wide tables. So these lights that most are massively produced are 4 foot wide lights. I found a couple companies that produce 5 foot wide lights, and that's one of the ones that I'm testing out right now. So nice, I like to document that stuff and say that again.
And I said, nice, more coverage.
Yeah, 100%, man. I mean, you get so much more PPFD outside on the outside edge of that, that canopy that I was making it to the finish line. They were looking good, but now they're looking better. You know what I mean? So
absolutely. Yeah, I've seen a lot of stuff. Even like Mammoth Lighting now has like the mint spectrum into it and stuff like that.
Yeah. Mammoth has some pretty cool stuff, man. I haven't got to try any of theirs out yet, but maybe one day I will.
Yeah, I feel that. I'm looking at the AC Infinity just to get a kit together, just because I'm doing a small thing. But eventually, I want to get like the Mammoth Lighting in there too. I was reading up on that stuff. That was pretty cool. But yeah, that's dope. Hell yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. There's another one, Grandmaster. Grandmaster makes some really badass lights as well. I haven't got to test any of theirs. I've tested probably 5-6 different brands, and so far my 2 favorites are the Grow Pros and the Matrix. But I think the Matrix beats the Grow Pros. It's got a really far red spectrum, and I mean, you can see it, man. You can see it when you walk in the room. I have 1 light out of 30 that's that light, and you can find it like that. I mean, you just see red.
Damn. Hell yeah. Well, dope, man. Yeah. So it's HYDEMAND _LLC on IG, correct?
Correct.
All right. And anyone to shout out, anything like that?
Shout out to Sean at Matrix Lighting. Thanks for hooking me up with this light, bro.
Hell yeah. Shout out to you. Thank you very much for coming on there, Dakota. This has been dope. We're going to keep tapped in with you and maybe eventually make it over to Oklahoma to actually try that flower.
Come on down, dude.
Oh, bro, it'll happen. I just put it into the universe. But put
it on your alarms on your phone.
Vision board. Hey, there you go. Put it on alarm. All right. So thank you very much. Shout out to you. If you want to check them out, like I said, Hydemand _LLC on Instagram, Threads, whatnot. And shout out to Habari Entertainment. Any video needs, go to habaryentertainment.com. Appreciate them. Shout out to Old Pal. Shout out High Vibrations AZ. Shout out Revelry. Shout out Hades Cannabis, Apothecary. Shout out everyone watching. Shout out God. But tap in, smoke up.
With love and compassion, we'll find our way. From the battlefield to a brighter day. With love and compassion, we'll find